Well, good morning.
Good morning.
We're here with J.P. Block, and we know that can only mean one thing, a new book. J.P. Block's novel, Ph.Dead, was just released, and I've got to say, I'm just in the middle of it, so you can't give away the ending in this.
Okay.
Okay.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Your new novel, it's a murder mystery, and it's a funny satire, and a ghost story, and it's all combined. How did all that come about?
Yeah. Well, it didn't start out that way, but I do write a lot of murder mysteries, so that's sort of a given. The satire, it comes from wanting to poke a little good-natured fun at the academic life and those of us who live, or I should say lived, because I just retired, in the ivory tower of knowledge.
Congratulations.
And I had an experience a few years ago where I was interviewing someone, and I thought I was talking on just the same level as this other person, and then I played it back, and it was so obvious that I was using these, humongously long words, and that I sounded nothing like him at all. And I think that academics do have a tendency to get very abstract and intellectualize everything, and so I poke some fun at that. And the ghost story is just to give the book a sense that there might be more things out there than academics sometimes think, that while they're being so intellectual, there's possible other life forms or other kinds of experiences. So that's sort of where the ghost came in.
You started to touch on this a little bit, but I want to ask you, what inspired you to write this novel? It's a very unusual concept. And so what was your inspiration?
Right. Well, the specific social issue at work here is sexual misconduct on our nation's campuses, and you can go online and see just how horrifically high the percentages are of sexual misconduct at colleges and universities. And I got to thinking that at universities you have people with advanced degrees who are often considered, the good white-collar people who don't do bad things. And also, of course, with the advent of feminism, there have been a lot of women's studies departments created, and even when there is not a women's studies department, certainly there are a lot of women professors who are very sensitive about these issues. So I was curious about just how this problem persists, given such a high percentage of what we might call, liberal or feminist people on board.
Is any of it based on any real experiences?
No, I'm afraid not. I've never been a ghost. At least I don't think I have. See, I sit nice and solid. I've never been a psychologist, and the protagonist who is both a ghost and psychologist. And this particular psychologist specializes in forensic psychology, which I know very little about, or at least until I wrote the book. And the characters, whether they're teachers, administrators, or students, or whatever, are all total works of fiction.
Well, then, another question I think is important, since we know all of the characters are made up. Just in general, do you believe in ghosts?
I would say yes and no.
Are you a politician?
Yeah, I'm a politician, yeah. No, when I was younger, in my teens and 20s, like a lot of people, I was very interested in ghosts of the supernatural, and I had some experiences of, I'd be sitting in a room talking with people late at night, and we'd feel like there was a presence in the room and so on. Maybe it was real, maybe it was the power of suggestion, but when I was a kid, I was over a friend's house, and I remember we got to talking about ghosts, and his mother said something that has always stayed with me, which is that it's the living we have to fear, which made a lot of sense then, and it makes a lot of sense to me now. So whether there are ghosts or not, it's the living that really make a mess of things.
You think the living are more malevolent than ghosts would ever?
Oh yes.
Yeah.
They can be much worse.
Well, after this book, what are the further steps you think that are possible to solve the problem of sexual misconduct on the campuses in our nation?
Well, it's sort of ironic because these are supposedly our halls of knowledge, and yet the first word that comes to mind is education. People still need more education on what constitutes sexual misconduct, what is proper or improper behavior in the classroom and in the office, and learn more about how to treat each other with respect as colleagues. I had an experience when I first became a professor where someone was starting to stalk me, and nothing too much came of it, but I think that made me more sensitive to what rape victims, who are almost always women, go through, because everybody has the right to say to someone else, I don't want to know you, I don't want you in my life, whether it's for a good reason or a bad reason, no. And when someone tries to violate that no, it has a very, very damaging effect upon the self, even as in my case it was something quite minor. So more education, more workshops, and also I think more monitoring and policing. It never hurts to have a campus police department, and monitoring not only what students do but what faculty, staff, and administrators do, and having very vigorous no tolerance policies, such as the university that I just retired from.
Oh, that sounds like quite a goal to try to achieve. Thank you for meeting with us today. I hope everybody, I'm enjoying your book so much, and I hope everybody gets a chance to read it.
Yeah.
And come back and see us the next time we have a J.P. Block novel.
Thank you.